Hi, hello, how are you all? Welcome to my channel Law Made Simple with me Vidya Reddy. In the series of labor law episodes, let us move to another topic. What are the permissible deductions under the Payment of Wages Act 1936? Prior to this act, the employers used to deduct the wages to be paid to the employees on unreasonable grounds. Sometimes the deductions were so high that on the day of the wages, the employees could not get any wages. However, after passing of the Payment of Wages Act, the position has been a lot of different. So, what are the deductions which are allowed and what are authorized and what are unauthorized deductions? No deduction is allowed under Section 7 Clause 1 of the Act, and all the wages of the employed person should be paid to him without deductions of any kind except those which are authorized. So, under Section Clause 1, only authorized deductions should be made. And authorized deductions or permissible deductions are done on Section 7 Clause 2 of the Act, and he is made permissible. Any other deductions made by the employer amounts to unauthorized deduction. So all the deductions under Section 7 Clause 2 are made in accordance according to the provisions of the Act of Payment of Wages Act 1936. So let us look into what are the permissible deductions. Section 7 Clause 2E fines. Section 8 allows general requirements for imposition and deduction of fines. A notice specifying the act or omissions which amount fineable shall be exhibited. No fine shall be imposed on any employed person without giving him a show cause notice. The total amount of fine shall not exceed an amount equal to 3% of the wages payable in respect of that wage period, and no fine shall be imposed on any employed person who is under the age of 15. Section 7, Clause 2b, deductions for absence of duty. Section 9 of the Act lays down that if any employed person abstains himself from duty without prior permission of the employer, deduction may be made on account of such absence. Such deduction must be proportionate to his earnings during the period of his absence. Section 7 Clause 2c, deductions for damage or loss. Section 7 Clause 2 authorizes deductions for damage or loss of those goods only which are entrusted to the employed person for custody, and not more than that. This provision is applicable to such damage or loss which is directly attributable to the negligence or default of the employed person. So, according to Section 10 of the Act, such deduction shall not exceed the amount or damage or loss caused of the employed person, of the employed employer. Section 7 Clause 2d, deductions for house accommodation. According to Section 11 of the Act, any deduction under Section 7 Clause 2 shall not exceed an amount equivalent to the value of the house accommodation. The house accommodation must have been accepted by the employed person as a term of employment or otherwise. Section 7 Clause 2e, deductions for amenities and services. According to Section 11, if any amenities or services are accepted by the employed person, deduction may be made to an equivalent amount. And Section 7 Clause 2f, deductions for recovery of advance. According to Section 12, deduction for recovery of advance is subjected to certain conditions. In all other cases, advance can be recovered. So we can just look into the permissible deductions. It are deductions on the fines, deductions for being absent, deductions for any damage or loss caused by the employee, and deductions for house accommodation and other amenities. Now let us look into what are the other deductions. Apart from these deductions, deductions from recovery of loans and the interest of the loans, deductions of income tax payable by the employed person, deductions for payment of cooperative societies approved by state government, deductions to a scheme of insurance maintained by the Indian Post Office, deductions required to be made by order of a court, deductions for payment of insurance premium, deductions for contributions to any insurance scheme framed by the central government for the benefit of its employees, deductions towards fee or subscriptions or for repayment of advances taken from the Provident Fund, deductions for subscriptions payable to any registered trade union, deductions for the purchase of any securities of Government of India such as Indira Vikas Patra, deductions for payment of insurance policies like LIC, etc., deductions for contribution to the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund or Red Cross Association. So all these are other deductions. We can simply remember the deductions based on the loans interest, income tax, any deductions paid in accordance with the cooperative societies, insurance, order of court. All these can be included under this other deductions. Now let us look it into the limitations on these deductions. The law will allow the employer to make deductions from the wages of the employed person, but at the same time it has imposed certain limitations on such deductions, and these limitations will protect the interests of the employed person. So according to section 7 clause 3, the deductions under section 7 clause 2 shall not exceed 50% of the wages of the workman during a wage period. And if such deductions are wholly or partly made for the payments of cooperative societies, then 75% of the wage can be deducted. So in all these things, these are direct and straightforward. What are the deductions to be made? What are authorized deductions? What are unauthorized deductions? These are simple and straightforward. I need not explain all these. What are the deductions? How are the deductions made? So kindly refer to the channel and explore more on this. Thank you.